This is Daily Armenia, CivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. Armenia's foreign ministry has dismissed speculations that the plight of Armenian prisoners of war and civilians held in Azerbaijan is being sidelined, telling CivilNet in a written response that the issue remains a top priority in both bilateral talks with Baku and discussions with international partners. Foreign Minister consistently raises the release of Armenian captives in meetings with international counterparts, the ministry claimed, adding that the matter is also regularly discussed with the families of detainees, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and other relevant stakeholders. The ministry noted that resolving this humanitarian issue is expected to serve as a confidence-building measure between the sides, while also expressing hope for a positive outcome through ongoing dialogue with Azerbaijan. It added that the pre-signing and the expected full signing of a normalization deal would create a more favourable environment for addressing humanitarian concerns. Families of the captives, however, warn that the situation is deteriorating, especially after the ICRC was forced to suspend its work in Azerbaijan following government expulsion earlier this year. Among those affected is Lebanese-Armenian civilian captive Vigen Yulcekjian, who has been imprisoned since 2020. Yulcekjian's wife Linda told CivilNet today that he suffers from severe pain but is denied medical treatment. She added that other prisoners face similar health problems and despair, with ICRC, their main lifeline to food and basic supplies, now cut off. Human rights lawyer Siranush Sahakyan told CivilNet earlier this week that ICRC's exit drastically increases the risk of torture and mistreatment. She criticised the Armenian authorities for not pursuing alternative channels, such as involving Switzerland as a neutral party, to maintain contact with detainees. Unlike the Foreign Ministry, which views a peace deal as a path to resolution, Sahakyan argued that the return of captives should be treated as a precondition for any credible peace process. Armenia's investigative committee has issued an international arrest warrant for David Papazian, former head of the Armenian National Interests Fund, the body announced today. Papazian, who is believed to reside in the United Kingdom, faces charges of document forgery, large-scale money laundering, and abuse of power in the private sector. The Prosecutor General's office had already launched criminal proceedings against Papazian and his former associates Bela Manukyan and Karina Andreasyan on August the 15th. According to investigators, Manukyan faces charges of forgery and abuse of power, while Andreasyan was charged with large-scale money laundering. Papazian has not commented on the accusations. ANIF, a joint Armenian-Emirati investment foundation, was launched in 2019 to attract foreign capital and support large-scale development projects in Armenia. Its biggest undertakings were the Fly Arna national airline, now folded, and a $174 million solar power project awarded in 2021 to the UAE's Masdar company. The solar plants, planned for the Aragatsotn region, were billed as the largest in Armenia and the wider region, but construction never began. Since 2023, audits at ANIF revealed inefficient spending and inflated executive salaries. Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan later called the fund a failure and disgrace, and the government formally moved to liquidate it in 2024. The shutdown left behind numerous unresolved obligations, now being covered by Armenia's state reserve funds. In a separate development last month, the UK-based Arab Organisation for Human Rights accused Papazian, now working with the US-Israeli Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, of potential involvement in what it described as actions amounting to war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. The group appealed directly to Armenia's Prosecutor General, Anna Vardapetyan, to investigate. Her office replied that the allegations would be examined, but no legal consequences have followed so far in this regard. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, on an official visit to Japan, visited the Armenian Pavilion at Expo 2025 in Osaka, his office reported today. Titled Pillars of Today and Tomorrow, the pavilion showcases Armenia's innovative programs, cultural heritage, investment opportunities, and educational initiatives. Organisers said it has welcomed over 1 million visitors since the exhibition opened. Speaking at the pavilion, Pashinyan said, "We have arrived in Osaka to share Armenia's achievements, rooted in our history and culture, and our vision for a peaceful, prosperous future through economic, technological, and educational progress." The visit also included a traditional Japanese tea ceremony, with members of the Armenian delegation and Japan's Deputy Parliamentary Minister for Foreign Affairs, Hisashi Matsumoto. Yesterday, Pashinyan met Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba in Tokyo. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 2. That's because this week marked the second year in a row that Armenia was invited to present at UNESCO's Digital Learning Week in Paris. Armenian Deputy Education Minister Arthur Martirosyan led the delegation, showcasing the Generation AI High School project as a national model for artificial intelligence education. Starting from the 2025-2026 academic year, the program has expanded to schools across every region of Armenia, making advanced AI learning accessible nationwide and placing the country among the few worldwide to introduce AI at the school level. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.